Search the castle. If there are more rogue knights, I want them in chains.
We routed them from the library, but I'll make sure nothing was damaged or stolen.
I'm glad to see you again, friend. I just wish your arrival didn't coincide with another crisis. A contingent of knights from the Society of the Steadfast entered the castle. Not in and of itself a concern, we are allies after all. But we weren't informed of a visit. When one of my knights saw them go into the library, she went to investigate. She discovered them ransacking the library. They attacked her, but she was able to fend them off and summon help. My knights routed the villains, but we're unsure if anything was stolen, or if there are more of them hiding elsewhere in the castle. The Ascendant Order. The rogue knights that gave you trouble back on High Isle. What would they be seeking in my castle? Then those imposters must have been looking for the Druid King's crown. Come, we need to check the library at once. And later, I want to hear more about your accusations concerning Lord Baccaro. I assumed it would be safe enough locked in a case in the library until I could make other arrangements. We had no reason to believe the relics were in danger. Besides, I only returned to the castle a moment before you arrived. At the docks preparing to receive Lord Baccaro's ship and the relief supplies he'd promised. It never arrived. I suppose that was all part of the ruse based on what you just told me. Now, let's go make sure the crown is still safely locked away. The library is this way. Damn their eyes, they ransacked the place. Let's see if the case is still here.
You're too late, fools. The crown belongs to the Ascendant Order now.
No, the case is empty. But how do they know to search the library, let alone behind the shelves? They stole the crown right out of my own castle. How is this possible? You said Lord Baccaro is behind this. I think you better tell me what you know. If you go back far enough, most Bretons have a druid hiding somewhere in their bloodline, but so many records have been lost. How could he be certain? Regardless, why the ruse with the peace talks and the Ascendant Order? So Baccaro was behind it all. The attempts on the lives of the Alliance leaders, the death of the Archdruids, of Raval and my father. Wait, Druid Laurel! The staff, Laurel and Free, are in danger! Orlaith may have believed in a new age, but Baccaro is leading us toward the Green Scourge. King Cassarain's prophecy of the return of the Druid King. It predicts two possibilities. Either an era of peace and harmony, or a time of nature run amok. Go to Glimmertarn and make sure Laurel and the staff are safe. I'll gather what knights I can spare. See if Captain Siravain is willing to aid us once more. I have a feeling we'll need all the help we can get to stop Baccaro and his Ascendant Order. Siravain is a mercenary, but she and her Gilded Blade proved themselves trustworthy against the Dread Sails and the Firesong. Since then, we've been paying her to help with the relief efforts. We needed every ship we could hire. I won't know until I ask. And if she refuses, you'll still have House Mornard at your side in the battle to come. Now hurry, my friend. Go make sure the staff and Druid Laurel are safe.
Druidkin! Oh, thank Ifray you're here. Something terrible has happened. This way!
Rot in damnation! Lord Baccaro, he betrayed us!
Lord Bacaro and a contingent of steadfast knights arrived with their usual crates of supplies. He took me aside, warned me that the Ascendant Order was after the Druid King's regalia. He wanted to make sure the staff was still safe. Blight it all. But I did just what you'd expect. He's our ally, or I thought he was. I showed him that the staff was safe, and he grabbed it. Ordered his knights to hold us back. He has all 3 of the regalia, friend. All 3. We tried to resist, but we were no match for his knights. Then Bacaro displayed the regalia, proclaimed himself the Druid King, and commanded Free to follow him. And they did. That's when Lady Arabelle arrived. Wait, Stefan, is he all right? As soon as I explained what happened, Lady Arabelle and her companions went after Bacaro. I told them we saw him leading Free toward Ifre's path. I stayed behind to tend to the wounded. But this smacks of the Green Scourge. I'll go with you. How should I know how that blighter thinks? Lady Arabelle told me that he's the Ascendant Lord, which now makes sense. As soon as he revealed his treachery, his knights threw off their cloaks and revealed themselves to be the Ascendant Order. I'm not sure. Other than Orlaith, no one else has ever attempted to claim the title. At least not to my knowledge. Is it enough to just possess the regalia? Is that why he needs Free? To legitimize his claim? I'm not sure. Still, this is bad. In every way. Everything I know tells me the Druid King can command nature. Wield it like a tool or a weapon. If the title is taken by force, the prophecy tells us it begins an age of destruction. The Green Scourge. It's from the dream of Kasserine, the prophecy of the Druid King. One choice, one will, one binding word, shall bless or scourge all lands. Since those lines were carved into the Telling Stone, they've become the basis for our 2 possible futures. The blessing of the Green Reward, or the curse of the Green Scourge. One ushers in an age of harmony with nature. The other predicts a world under siege by an angry and vengeful wilderness. 2 possibilities. One Druid King. The Druids have argued about that for generations. From what you found at Ivyheim, it's clear Kasserine believed the reward would come when the Circles reunited and selected a new king, while a usurper would summon the Scourge. A tyrant like Bacaro.
We lost Bacaro in Ifre's path. Lady Arabelle is still out there.
Thank you, Nairon. The Druidkin and I will take it from here. This is the trail they took into Ifre's path.
An outsider? Well, if this is Ifre's will... Come here, please.
Over there. That's one of Lady Arabelle's companions.
Five Claw! Oh, thank the moons! The others followed Lord Bacaro. Go and help them. Lady Arabelle is very brave. Barely recovered from nearly dying, and already chasing villains into a desolate and scary valley. Hurry, Five Claw. You must go help her. Zaji decided to wait out here for you, Five Claw. Yes, Zaji waited to direct you. It is easy to get lost in such places, yes? Lady Arabelle followed the Ascendant Lord. Should Zaji call him that now? Oh, thank you, Five Claw. Zaji will go back to the Druid village and wait for you there. Look for Casca. She is a great tracker. If she hasn't found Bacaro yet, she will shortly.
That's the giant cat that accompanied Lady
Good
Arabelle.
to smell you, Five Claw. Rivanna thinks Bacaro came here for a purpose. He's not far ahead. Rivanna told me to wait here. She wanted to make sure that Druid Laurel or whoever came after us knew where to go. She doesn't know what the Ascendant Lord is up to exactly, but she's sure he came to this place for a reason. They headed west and followed Bacaro into Ifre's path. Bacaro left some knights behind to slow us down, but I took care of them. Did you happen to see Zaji on your way here? Now that you're here, I'll head back too. I could be more helpful at the Druid village than in a cramped cavern. You might not believe this, but sometimes my size can be a hindrance. Just make sure to bite Bacaro a few times for me.
The ruins on the western wall of the Hollow. That's got to be where everyone headed. There's a druid ahead.
Over here, my friend. Lady Arabelle followed them through that door. Lady Arabelle said you'd find us. Told me to wait here and point the way. She followed Bacaro, the Ascendant Lord, through that door over there. Go help her. I'm still not sure she's fully recovered from the effects of the poison. Just speculation, really. Ifre's path is a sacred place, and such locations contain power if you know how to draw upon it. Bacaro is going to need all the power he can get if he wants to press his claim as the Druid King. The Stonelore Circle, at least, will never accept his claim. Not unless forced to. Not to mention the Three Alliances. Bacaro is going to need more than the regalia and his small army of knights to accomplish his ultimate goal. To rule all of Tamriel. She's definitely on the mend, but she should be resting. Running after the so-called Ascendant Lord can be hazardous to her condition in a number of ways. Go after her, my friend. Keep her safe and deal with Bacaro before things get worse.
All these plants were recently torn away. This door must have been hidden for ages. That's Lady Arabelle. What's she doing?
Careful, dears, and watch where you step. Now don't be alarmed, dear, but I happen to have stepped where I shouldn't have. I suppose I owe Druid Rivanna an apology. The lingering effects of the poison do seem to have made me somewhat discombobulated. A pressure plate, I think. Some sort of trap put here who knows when, and by who knows who. That can wait, though. I followed Lord Bacaro in here. He met with a group of druids. Firesong, I think. He promised them vengeance against the Stonelore. The nature spirit? Yes, they were here. I couldn't quite tell if they were a prisoner or not. Bacaro did say he needed them to talk to Ifre's path, whatever that means. You need to go after them, my dear. Oh, I agree. But that's not going to be done quickly. And as long as I remain in place, we are all perfectly safe. You go on ahead. Druid Laurel can stay here and help me disarm this insidious contraption.
Don't move, Lady Arabelle. Let me see what I can do.
Not a muscle, dear lady. Go, my friend. Find Bacaro and free.
someone approaches, don't let them reach the ritual site!
Ascending Knight. Firesong allies.
Do this.
Obey your king, Sower. The spirit here will awaken and do my bidding. The prophecy demands it. You would oppose me. To Tamriel. We shall start by punishing the Stone Law. Servant of Ifray, come forth! Obey your king. Destroy the Stone Law Circle and their allies. The reign of the Druid King begins here. Kill
Come back here,
the
Bacaro,
intruders.
you coward!
Interesting. An old druidic summoning chamber. I want to examine these carvings.
Damn my clumsiness. If not for the fact that we were delayed by that trap, we could have been here to help you with that creature. Then maybe Lord Bacaro wouldn't have been able to slip away. I assume this was at least in part a test of sorts, to see if he could actually call forth a spirit and command it. Plus, he wanted to prove to his followers that he is worthy of the Druid King's regalia. Somewhere he can further strengthen and consolidate his power, especially since he knows we're onto him. Druid Laurel is examining the stone carvings. Perhaps they can tell us something. Take a look and talk to her, dear.
These carvings tell an interesting story. Take a look, my friend. This carving shows the Druid King binding a spirit into Mount Firesong. This carving depicts the spirit slumbering within the volcano. See the Druid King's regalia? This carving indicates a possible future. See how the spirit awakens and the volcano erupts? It's a warning.
I always say, when someone gives you a warning, it's best to take heed.
Ancient druids called upon the spirits of the green at their own peril. Only the Druid King was ever able to do so safely. It's why we abandoned the practice long ago. This is where they did it. At least where some of them did it. Like so much of the ancient knowledge that remains, these carvings are open to interpretation. Obviously, we can see the spirits of the green, forces of nature in the bosom of Ifray. Then we see a spirit slumbering beneath Mount Firesong. Very much so. And the spirit must be extremely powerful due to how sacred Mount Firesong is. I think that's what the final carving tells us. Let the sleeping spirit lie. For generations, that's been one of the Firesong's primary purposes. I think Bacaro plans to call forth the spirit of Mount Firesong with the Druid King's regalia. With a spirit of that magnitude, the armies of Tamriel won't stand a chance. Go to Vastir, and tell Stefan to prepare his ships. We must go to Iphalon.
If we're going to stop Bacaro, we're going to need help. Go to Castle Mornard and rally Count Stefan's knights. I'll make sure the rest of us are ready.
I thought our troubles were over after all the death and destruction, but something worse is coming, Feda.
I feel it too.
I hope to
Like
be
a
done
dark
here
storm
soon.
on the horizon.
May Rupa guide you, as he guides my studies.
I hope you'll reconsider. This threat endangers us all.
The Gilded Blades aren't mercenaries to call on to clean up your mess, Count Stefan.
My knights are ready, but Captain Siravain isn't convinced she wants to join us in this particular fight. But never mind that. Is Druid Laurel all right? Is the Sacred Staff safe? Damn it all to oblivion. At least Laurel is all right. I've assembled what knights I can spare, but we could really use Siravain and the Gilded Blades. Maybe you can convince her to help. I'd appreciate it. I've been banging my head against that particular wall for hours now. Remind her that if Lord Bacaro takes control of the archipelago, any safe ports she has on Galen will evaporate like a drop of water in a hot skillet.
I can never get enough of the food you landbound eat. It's so delicious. The Lordling sent you over to convince me to help, didn't he? My answer is the same. Why should I care about your political drama? And that concerns me how, exactly? If druids want a king or not, that's their business, not mine. Sea Lord Nalos was my problem, and I took care of it. What happens on Galen next doesn't matter to me. Just because our purposes aligned once doesn't mean we'll sail side by side forever, mercenary. We both wanted Nalos dead, and now he is. That was a win for both of us. I'd need a more compelling reason to risk my crew again. That is certainly something I hadn't considered. I do like the safe haven that the Lordling has provided us with. And what was that about allies? Bacaro is working with the Firesong? All right, you convinced me. My ship is yours, for now.
I knew you'd come around, Siravain. Let's meet at the Vastir docks.
Sometimes I hear strange things in the darkest hours of the night. Surely just lingering night.
Hear ye, card sharps and collectors. Test your wits and courage in a brand new card game, Tales of Tribute.
It's good to see you, dear. And is that Count Stefan? Glad House Mornard could join us, Your Excellency. Captain Zodji's ship is ready to sail. Next stop, Ifalon. Come, Laurel, Ravana, and I talked during the voyage. If Lord Bacaro truly means to awaken the spirit of the volcano, he's going to need to do it from inside Mount Firesong. And since he knows we're coming, he'll throw everything he has in our way. Sleight of hand, my dear. Count Stefan and Captain Sirivane landed farther up the beach. While our allies draw attention at the main entrance, you and I will follow in their wake and find another way into the mountain. Laurel wasn't sure, but she thinks she remembers a cave to the right of the main entrance. Let's search around. If nothing else presents itself, we'll see where that cave leads.
The Ascendant Order's forces pulled back to the main entrance into the mountain. Sirivane and her pirates went after them.
These Ascendant Order barnacles are cowards. They flee at the first sign of a worthy opponent.
What strange allies this situation has foisted upon us. I never expected to work so closely with Sea Elves, but I can't find fault with Captain Sirivane's results. Let's find a way into the mountain, dear.
Our independence lies with the success of the Order.
The spot Laurel mentioned should be just ahead. The cave Laurel suggested. It must be behind those vines. This tunnel cuts deep into the mountain. Hopefully, it will lead us to Lord Bacaro. Firesong Druids, proceed with caution, dear.
The Druid King calls forth the spirit of the volcano. Soon, our enemies will perish in lava and flame.
Bacaro is started. We have to hurry. volcano is becoming more active. The lava is rising. Look over there. That's Druid Laurel's nature spirit. We have to help them.
Don't stop, my brothers and sisters! The spirit of the volcano stirs!
Wind vortex. Must summon. Keep them back while I sing.
The lava is rising. We don't have much time.
Now, friends! Step into the wind vortex. Bakaro wields the regalia. He commands the spirit to awaken, and now the volcano awakens too.
Lord Bakaro truly is insane. Stay with Free, my friend. I need to warn the others.
The false king is farther up the mountain. I will help in any way I can. When Mount Firesong erupts, many lives will be lost. Lava will consume the archipelago. The spirit of Mount Firesong. Ancient pacts broken. Ancient promises ignored. The false king must pay.
I can't be stopped. Not by you. Not by the nature spirit. Look how the very mountain obeys me. Spirit of the volcano, send your avatars to destroy my enemies.
The spirit created an avatar. Defend yourself, loyal friend.
Stop them, spirit. Do what you were summoned to do. both want the same thing. An end to this stupid war, and something better than the Ruby Throne.
The spirit is too powerful. Once unleashed, it cannot be controlled.
Spirit of Mount Firesong, lend me your strength. Give me the power to destroy my enemies. I am Lord Bacaro, the Ascendant Lord, the Druid King. Soon, the alliances will be nothing but cinders and ash!
He joined with the spirit. Now the volcano will follow its nature. It will explode. Over here, I will summon another wind vortex. Step into the wind before the lava consumes us. The spirit has been restrained for too many seasons. It wants to unleash the false king is farther up the mountain. I will help in any way I can. The false king is farther up the mountain. I will help in any way I can.
When the lava flows, the Alliance... No more alliances. No more Ruby Throne. The era of the Ivy Throne begins now!
Destroy the shards and I will dissolve the essence. The wind vortex is ready! to help you. Destroy the shards and I will absorb their essence. The weird vortex is ready! You are not worthy of the regalia, false king! The spirit of Mount Firesong fled when the false king died. The volcano has no spirit to calm it now. The false king is gone, but so is the spirit of the mountain. Without a spirit to calm it, Mount Firesong's rage will continue unchecked. Perhaps, if the balance is restored, a new spirit must fill the void in Mount Firesong's heart. I will be that spirit. It means I will calm the volcano before it destroys the archipelago. Attempt to contain most of the damage to Iphelon. But I will need your help, friend of Laurel. Friend of Free. Place the regalia to form a circle around me. Then command me to bind myself to the mountain. You are not the Druid King, but with the regalia and my willingness, the binding should hold. Then I will do what I can to quiet the volcano. I will remain, but I will be different. As the seed becomes a tree, I shall become the spirit of the mountain, and I will slumber, as will Mount Firesong. Now take the crown and the gauntlet and place them around me. Quickly, friend. Place the gauntlet and crown to form a ritual circle. Now Free is the spirit of Mount Firesong. Now the volcano will be still. Goodbye, friend. And thank you.
Where did you come from, Five Claw? You made Zaji's heart skip a beat, yes?
The volcano erupted, but except for the top of the mountain, Iphelon is intact. I very much want to hear what happened, dear. I got everyone back to the ship before the volcano fully erupted, but even so, I'm surprised we're all still alive. Care to enlighten us about what happened inside Mount Firesong, dear? Free was able to contain all that power. They saved the archipelago, the Alliance leaders, all of us. But where's Free now? Why didn't they return with you? You said they took the place of the spirit. What does that mean? Oh, poor Free. Their sacrifice saved us all. I'll remember them fondly for that. And you're sure Lord Bacaro is defeated? Without their leader, his Ascendant Order should fade away. But what happened to the Druid King's regalia, dear? It's just as well. As long as the Druids remain divided, they aren't ready for a new king. And I'm not sure how Emmerich and the others would react to another royal in their midst. Well, talk to our friends, dear. Then we should return to Vastir.
That's a whale of a story, mercenary. But I think I prefer having you with me than against me. So, at least for now, you have the respect of the Gilded Blades and their captain. The Gilded Blades handled themselves well, as always. And when Lady Arabelle sounded the warning, we headed to the nearest ship and set sail. For me, that happened to be this one. And your spirit friend decided to stay behind? Is that true? That's intense. Can't say I'd have done the same, but I can respect someone willing to give up their life to save others. It isn't particularly the Sea Elf way, but still. I think I'll drink to Free whenever I sail past the mountain.
I'm glad you were with Free inside the mountain, my friend. I'll never forget what they did to save us all. Free isn't gone, friend. They've just become something more. As a tree grows from seed to sapling to massive oak, so too has Free transformed. They're still with us, asleep in Mount Firesong, keeping us safe from the power of the volcano. Whenever you want to see Free, just look toward Mount Firesong. They're a part of it now. The spirit of the mountain. I need to tell the druids what happened here. Let them learn the last lesson the sower had to teach us. Sacrifice.
I'm sorry we couldn't figure another way to get out of this. Free shouldn't have had to sacrifice themselves to save the rest of us. I'm just glad you stopped Bakaro. Now maybe we can finally start to rebuild Galen. All this death and destruction because Bakaro wanted to dig up some ancient Breton legacy. If I learned anything from my time with the Druids, it's that they don't need a king or a prophecy to make the world a better place. They just need to do it. Don't be silly, of course I do. But that legacy isn't crowns and gauntlets. It's people, born of humans and elves to become something altogether new. It's magic, druids, and knightly orders. That's the Breton legacy I believe in. It's the best of us.
What do you want?
Hear ye, card sharps and collectors! Test your wits and courage in a brand new card game, Tales of Tribute.
Taking that aroma, folks. That's the Chef Razi's guarantee. You there, traveler. You look as adventurous as my...
I knew it. This was all the fault of those damn druids.
Well, some druids. But Count Stefan and that hero from the mainland saved us.
Well, at least House Mornard finally accomplished something.
I thought our troubles were over after all the death and destruction, but... something worse is coming, Feda.
I feel it too. Like a dark storm on the horizon.
I'm worried, Feda.
Over here, my dear. Count Stefan and I have something for you. You're really making a habit out of saving the archipelago, and of aiding me. Thanks to you, we revealed Lord Bakaro as a traitor, saved the islands from an erupting volcano, and ended the threat of the false Druid King. Well done, my dear. Don't worry about them. Without a leader, they'll quickly fade away. Now we just need to proceed with the peace talks. We're back on track and the archipelago is safe thanks to you. Now take this. Count Stefan and I wanted you to have it. We did well, dear, but the work isn't finished yet. I could use a hand if you're still so inclined. While I return to High Isle and make final preparations for the peace talks to commence, I'd like you to help Druid Laurel with one more thing. When you're finished, meet me at Mandrake Manor. I'll let her give you the details. I will say this, though. You've certainly made an impression on the Stone Lord Druids, dear. Druid Laurel will tell you what she needs. Just don't dawdle. Finish things here, then meet me on High Isle. We've had the Alliance leaders waiting quite long enough, and I have to make some arrangements with the Society of the Steadfast. Despite Lord Bacaro's betrayal, the Society has done good work here in the Sisters and back in Tamriel. I'd hate to lose that, but you're quite correct. I need to determine if the Society is trustworthy. I'll start by meeting with Captain Marguerite. The Society attracted many good people who have done a lot of good work. I won't see that die with Bacaro. I want the organization to continue if at all possible.
Galen and the entire archipelago owe you a debt, my friend. You have my thanks.
The Druids will never forget what you and Free did to save us. Lady Arabelle said she could spare you, and I appreciate the help. Before Free was taken by Lord Bacaro, they gave me something. Told me what to do with it if they didn't return. I thought Free was just being cautious, but I think they knew. That they weren't coming back. Free gave me a pouch of soil. They said it was special. That they prepared it as part of their purpose. You remember how Free would go on and on about that. Anyway, they asked me to do something after they were gone. They asked me to go to the overlook north of Glimmertarn, to sprinkle the soil from the pouch there. I made a promise, and I'd like you to fulfill it with me. I think Free would want you to be a part of this. Will you help me, friend? Here, take the pouch of soil. There's a beautiful tree by the overlook, tall and majestic. I think that's the perfect place to honor Free's wishes. I'll meet you there. Free said they spent a long time preparing it, that it was a part of them, a part of Galen, a part of the Druids. I don't know if they meant that literally or figuratively. It wasn't always easy to understand Free and the ways of a nature spirit. Free enjoyed sitting under it. I think they felt a connection to it, but I'm not really sure. The ways of nature spirits are very different from the things we know. They said to sprinkle the soil, and I think that's the perfect place to do it.
The Druids never seem to wipe their feet.
That's the tree. Free was quite fond of it. Go ahead and sprinkle the soil around its base. I thought for sure something would happen, but this is wonderful. Friend, let me tell you what Free has done. Did you see what happened, friend? What Free asked us to do with that pouch of soil? It's a miracle. Of course. After everything you've done for us, I still forget sometimes that you're not a druid. Free had a special connection to the sacred seeds. They used their power as a nature spirit, as the sower, to put some of that magic into the soil. It means that the sacred seeds aren't gone, that the Druid King's regalia will return, someday. Until that time, we'll need to protect this tree, nurture it. I'll make sure that all the circles know. We'll find a way to do it together. Trust has to start somewhere, but we still need to gather the elders and form a new Drafa. After that, I'll broach the subject. In the meantime, I'll commune with the tree, with the growing seeds, and I'll be here when they finally blossom. I think that's everything, my friend. Thanks again for helping me honor Free's request. I hope they find peace and happiness inside the volcano. Anyway, I think you should head back to High Isle now. I know Lady Arabelle is eager to begin the talks. Free made their decision. Without their sacrifice, none of us would have survived the volcano's eruption. I'll find time to go to Mount Firesong, to commune with the new spirit of the volcano. Sometimes bound spirits respond. Sometimes they don't. Oh, Free will commune with me if they're able. but every spirit binding is different. Some can communicate freely, others can only share impressions. And then there are the ones that more or less slumber, as Free did before they were awakened.
I assure you, Lady Arabelle, I'm more committed than ever to the Society of the Steadfast's mission of peace.
I'm glad to hear you say that, Captain. Ah, good, you're back. Captain Marguerite and I were just having the most illuminating discussion, dear. Other than some misdirection at the end, Lord Bacaro never allowed his clandestine activities with the Ascendant Order to spill over into the Society of the Steadfast. Yes, dear, I am. Captain Marguerite's reputation is impeccable, and I've begun to study their ledgers. Nothing is amiss. I'll get someone I trust to perform a thorough investigation, but the Society has done too much good to shut it down now. Just about. Preparations are underway at All Flags Islet, but I have a task for you. I'd like you to invite Count Stefan, Druid Laurel, and Druid Ravana for the talks. They deserve to have a voice in the proceedings. Captain Zaji and Casca, too. I think Zaji and Casca should get to see the negotiations unfold, but to have them participate, oh goodness no, dear. So, invite Stefan, Laurel, and the rest, and remind Stefan I'm depending on House Mornard for added security. Count Stefan will be at Castle Mornard, and Druid Laurel should be in the Vines District in Bastille. Zaji's likely at the docks here in Gonfalon Bay, and Druid Ravana is at her workshop here on High Isle, just west of the city. We've been trying to get the leaders of all three alliances to the table since this whole affair began. It's been sponsored by the Society of the Steadfast. There are no guarantees, but this is our best chance to end the Three Banners War. I won't keep that a secret from High King Emmerich and the others, but I will urge them to see the talks through, despite their less than honorable beginnings. This is a real chance for lasting peace, and I damn well plan to make that happen.
Friend, what a pleasant surprise. What brings you back here so soon, friend? Not another danger to the archipelago, I hope. I'm neither an elder nor an archdruid. Shouldn't Lady Arabelle invite one of them? Most of the surviving senior members of the Circle are deep in discussions about the Dreyfa. Very well. Tell her I'll attend the talks. I'm pleased that Lady Arabelle thought to include the druids of the archipelago in the peace talks. As you have seen, events on the mainland reach even to our distant shores. Still, I wish we had archdruids or elders available for the task. Perhaps one day, but I'm much too young to be called an elder. Don't you agree? As for Archdruid, one doesn't just receive that accolade. Only druids of immense presence and power ever achieve such a rank. Will I someday? We shall see.
Make sure the Pounce is ready to sail the moment Queen Irene calls for us.
The Pounce is ready. I could use some quiet time for a change.
Maybe you spoke too soon, Casca. Look who it is. Always a pleasure, Five Claw, but you also tend to bring trouble to Zaji. And more work. So what is it this time? A Periite cult? Vampire armies from deep underground, what? Zaji and Casca are invited? Well, as expected, of course. After all Zaji has done, it is only natural to want him there to observe, and to keep the Queen and the others safe. But Casca too, really? Well, very well, if Lady Arabelle insists. Zaji and Casca will leave for the islet at once, and will bring along a few of the Pounce's crew. A little extra muscle never hurts, yes? There is always a chance, Five Claw. It may be very, very small, so small that you cannot see it with the naked eye, but it is there nonetheless. This one does hope it works out, though. War is a terrible business indeed.
Erupting volcanoes. If it's not one thing, it's another.
Surely the mainland doesn't have these
Taking that aroma,
problems.
folks. That's the Chef Razi's guarantee. You there, Trevor.
I'm seriously
Light it
reconsidering my
all.
decision to
We
move
have
to
to
the
find a way for
archipelago.
the circles to work together.
The Elder Tide are willing, but we have yet to choose new leaders, and we still distrust the Firesong.
The Firesong are aware of our mistakes. We don't expect forgiveness, but we want a chance to make amends. I promise our next leader will have less aggressive aspirations.
Blight and damnation. Trying to get the druid circles to agree on anything is like trying to herd fawns. But you're not here to deal with my problems. Not this time. What can I do for you, my friend? Really? After you just saw my negotiating skills in action? Wait, you're serious? Well, why not? I definitely want what's best for my people. And maybe I can learn something watching the Alliance leaders. I'll be happy to attend. And just between us, the talks with the Druid circles aren't going too badly. I just lose patience sometimes. I want everything to happen right now. But flowers blossom when they're ready, am I right? What? Did Stefan say something? What are you asking? Count Stefan and I are getting along fine. Never better. And I'd rather not talk about this at the moment if that's all the same to you. Was all this bloodshed really the result of a druidic prophecy, Galfin?
I'm afraid so, Feda. Sometimes religious conviction can drive even the best of us to do terrible things.
Captain Marguerite was as good as her word. Get those supplies distributed at once.
Right away, Count Stefan.
Friend, welcome back to Castle Mornard. Lady Arabelle told me to trust Captain Marguerite, and so far so good. The Society of the Steadfast restarted their relief efforts, and things have been moving smoothly ever since. But what brings you back to Galen, friend? Does she now? And what role would a minor count play in discussions concerning the greater fate of all of Tamriel? No, forgive me, friend. It's just been a lot lately. Of course I'll attend. Is there anything Lady Arabelle needs of me? Ah, yes. After all this trouble, such a request isn't all that surprising. Very well. Tell Lady Arabelle Count Stefan shall attend the peace talks with a contingent of his finest knights at his side. Will that do? How my father ever accomplished anything with the constant parade of supplicants and requests, I'll never understand. Or Archdruid Revolve, for that matter. Now I know what it's like when everyone is constantly vying for a moment of your attention. No, it's not all that bad. Stressful, yes, but rewarding in its own way. You know, I really do like making decisions that help people. And I've even gotten the nobles and druids to sit down together. Once. Maybe my plans will work out after all.
Over here, dear. Time to get this conference started. I see everyone has arrived. Well done, dear. And I did my part as well. The Alliance leaders are already downstairs. Oh, just the usual hemming and hawing. I just applied my natural charisma and threatened them with bodily harm. The leaders do want a word with you, though, if you're willing to indulge them.
I like to think I'm not easily fooled. But not in 1,000 years would I have guessed that Lord Bacaro was the secret leader of the Ascendant Order. No one argued more eloquently for a lasting peace than he did. The revelation that these talks were merely part of the Ascendant Lord's plan to seize power makes it difficult. But as far as we can tell, the Society of the Steadfast Intentions are pure. And I think Lord Bacaro might have outsmarted himself. Bacaro wanted to prove his worth, show us that by blood and circumstance, he was the best suited to take power. Instead, through his actions as the Ascendant Lord, Emmerich, Ernskar, and I learned that we could actually work together. I think so, yes. I've come to believe that Emmerich and Ernskar want peace as badly as I do, and I'm willing to see where these discussions lead. We may not come to any conclusions, but isn't the possibility worth the effort? I think it is.
There you are, and the hero of the day again. I knew we weren't done with the Ascendant Order after the assault on All Flags Islet, but I never imagined it was Lord Bacaro who betrayed us. That's what my father would expect, but I don't feel that I'm quite done here yet. Nothing in my instructions covers what's happened so far, and Lord Bacaro's treachery calls into question the very sanctity of these peace talks. I wouldn't say that. I came here to do a job, and I think it can still be done. I plan to send word to the Skull King, tell him I'm staying, at least as long as Emmerich and Irene agree. Lord Bacaro may have deceived us, but peace is still possible. He won't be happy about the way Lord Bacaro manipulated him. But when I explain what happened here, and what you did, friend, he'll support my decision. He really is an excellent king, my father. But don't tell him I said that.
Lord Bacaro a villain. Rogue knights collaborating with druids? And what was that about sea elves? This visit to the archipelago has been one surprise after another. I owe you a lot, friend. You saved my life, and you saved my realm. I've ignored the druids of the archipelago for too long. The few I've met over the years seem, well, quaint, eccentric. I thought their insistence on clinging to the ancient ways was harmless. But I forgot about the dark roots of their tradition. The weirds of High Rock distanced themselves from politics, but the druids of old were a different breed. They used fearsome magic to rule over the early Bretons, either directly or from behind the scenes, and they jealously guarded their power. Why in oblivion not? I've been here this long. What's another few days? If the Breton legacy has a dark side, it also shows courage and commitment. If Irene and Ernskar are willing to talk, so am I. But I wonder if Lord Bacaro had the right idea. Oh, not about the whole Ascendant Lord and murder thing, but about finding someone other than one of us to sit on the throne. I can't imagine Irene or Yoren agreeing to bow down to me willingly, and I feel the same way. We'll just have to see.
Your attention, please. Lady Arabelle requests that everyone join her in the reception hall. Friend, may we speak? Finally, we get a moment to ourselves. I did want to speak with you before Lady Arabelle gets on with the important business. I wanted... Damn, this went better in my head. I've never been as good at speaking my mind as my father was, or Archdruid Raval. Now, he was an orator. Sorry, I'm babbling. Let me start over. Thank you for everything, my friend. Now, don't start with that sort of nonsense. Of course I need to thank you. You saved us all. What kind of count would I be? What sort of friend? If I didn't let you know how much what you've done for us means to me. All right, I've taken up enough of your time. I know how eager Lady Arabelle is to get the peace talks underway. We'll talk later. Now go speak to Lady Arabelle and let her know everything is ready for her to begin.
Have I mentioned how much I detest public speaking? Goes against all my training as a spy and agent of the king. I'm supposed to hear all the important bits of dialogue, not recite them. Ah, well, before all that, I want to share something with you. Yes, I do. As we conclude this business with Lord Bacaro and the Ascendant Order, I want you to know how much your help has meant to me. Take this as payments for services above and beyond the call of duty. Now, I have a speech to deliver, my dear. We stand here today because of Lord Bacaro, what he brought together through the Society of the Steadfast, and what he tried to bring about as the Ascendant Lord. Instead of dividing us, instead of defeating and conquering us, he showed us what's possible when we work side by side. And through the courage and sacrifice of many of the people gathered here, as well as the nature spirit free, we persevered and won the day. Now to our royal guests, I say, let's recognize our friend, and then start the talks.
Our friend has performed above the call of duty. I name them Champion of the Covenant.
Not so fast, Emmerich. I name them Champion of the Dominion.
Then I name them Champion of the Pact.
Your Majesties, please. All of that would never fit on the medal. Let's just agree on Champion of the Alliances, shall we?
Oh, very well.
I can live with that.
If you insist.
Are we ready to begin, Your Majesties?
I suddenly feel extremely humble.
Well, gentlemen, shall we?
I suppose we shall. We did endure much to get to this point, after all.
Then let us see how possible peace may be.
This is the part of the story I hate the most, when we must inevitably say goodbye. As much as I try to avoid it, I have a terrible habit of growing quite attached to the people I work with. All that said, I will miss you most emphatically, my dear. My contract with the Society of the Steadfast doesn't end until the peace talks conclude, and who knows how long the Alliance leaders will yell at each other now that they've finally started. After that, some travel, some writing, some time to relax. Truthfully, I'm not sure. I hope Emmerich and the others can work something out. There's been more than enough blood spilled over the Ruby Throne for my taste. Alas, things like this aren't up to me. I do think there's a chance, though, thanks to you. These accusations that I'm some clandestine writer of tawdry thrillers are beginning to rankle, dear. I understand that the next Vale novel will feature an unlikely location, a new romantic interest, and a villain of epic proportions. Or so I heard. I rarely have to look, dear. They seek me out. I would like a little time to recover from this ordeal, though. My old bones don't spring back like they once did. And I really want to find someone to, let's say, share a bottle or two with. Yes?